I'm Miranda Cosgrove, and this is Mission Unstoppable. Coming up, what's cuter than the sight of a cephalopod? Seeing how cuttlefish camouflage, of course.
Oh, wow, look at her go.
Then, your curls could benefit from some chemistry. Discover how a bioengineer can help your hair.
Is there something that you can whip up for my hair?
Yeah, definitely, let's go.
And Dr. Brain knows why ASMR might give you the tingles. It starts in your brain. And even small science can have a big impact.
In engineering, I have role models that look like me.
Get ready to meet the scientists, inventors, and heroes who help make our world a better place. The future is here. The mission, unstoppable.
Oh, hey, did you see me? Of course not, because I am a master of disguise. But there are animals out there whose camouflage is even more convincing. To find out what we can learn from these creatures, today we're talking to research biologist Kendra Buresch.
Deep below the surface of the ocean, there are creatures with incredible powers. Masters of camouflage able to instantly change their color and even their texture. With brains and nervous systems unlike anything on land, these creatures are the cephalopods. To find out more about these amazing animals, I've come to the Marine Biological Laboratory in Woods Hole, Massachusetts, to meet research scientist Kendra Buresch.
I always knew that I wanted to work with animals. We used to go and visit my aunt in DC all the time, and she would take us to the zoo and a natural history museum, and those are probably my fondest memories of being a kid. And I always wanted to study animal behavior, and this lab studies behavior with some really cool animals.
Today, I'm visiting Kendra's lab to see some of the experiments she's designed to unlock the mysteries of how cephalopods perceive their environment. Like this aquatic arena, where Kendra and her team study the incredible camouflage powers of the cuttlefish by exposing them to different natural and unnatural patterns.
Oh my goodness, wow. I don't think I've seen a cuttlefish before. They really look kind of elegant, don't they?
It has this fin that goes all the way around the outside of its body. They can hover that way with their fin, they can swim that way. They also can squirt water through their siphon and jet backwards. They have 8 arms and then they have 2 tentacles. It can change the color of its skin, and it can also change the texture of its skin. So she could make herself look really smooth, or she could make herself look really bumpy. What we're gonna do now is sort of do an example of what might happen if we put her on a different pattern type.
Oh, wow, look at her go. Oh my gosh. She immediately changed color. Whoa.
It's an instinct, really. She's just trying to hide. So if I'm a cuttlefish, I'm pretty tasty and everything in the ocean wants to eat me, I better camouflage myself pretty quickly, like that. She's putting on a pattern that we call a disruptive body pattern, which isn't necessarily always used to blend into their background. It can be used to break up their body outline so that they just don't look like something to eat.
Kendra also studies the perception of other cephalopods, like Joey the octopus, who lives in this cute little teapot and can touch and taste with her arms.
Octopuses are super curious. They explore their environment with their arms, and they're tasting and touching everything and kind of trying to figure out what everything is.
Oh, she changed colors right there.
Yeah, so she can do the same thing that the cuttles can do. Whoa, look at
Whoa.
that pattern. That's a really cool pattern. They have like 150 to 250 suckers on each arm. They have over 500 million neurons. 2/3 of them are in their arms. They actually have a ring of neurons that goes around to their whole crown of arms. So there's a ganglia associated, which is like a fancy way of saying a nerve, at the top of each one of their arms. Those arms can actually communicate with each other without going to the central brain. Arm 1 out here knows what arm 3 is doing back here.
Oh, so they can multitask and do 8 different things at the same time.
But they can also do more than one thing with one arm at the same time. It's pretty impressive.
Thanks so much, Kendra, for teaching me all about cephalopods. They really are the superheroes of the sea.
They are pretty amazing animals.
Bye, Joey.
Hair. It keeps our head warm, gives us a place to use shampoo, and clogs our drains. And thanks to science, we understand it more than ever. We sent Nabil to find out how bioengineering can help us care for our hair.
Everyone's hair is different. Some people have dark, bouncy curls, others fine and blonde, and still others, a thick and commanding dark chestnut. Check it out. That probably would look better if I had longer hair. But regardless, the products we use for a healthy head of hair have some clever chemistry, thanks to scientists like bioengineer Sareena.
I've always been someone who's wanted to know everything about every single little thing and how every single system works. I use biology, I use chemistry, I use mathematics, I use engineering because I'm making hair care products, which is a lot of chemistry, and especially organic chemistry.
By combining her love of all these sciences, Sareena designs new ways to help the human body, specifically the hair part. At her company, she creates custom hair products through careful analysis of every client's unique hair.
Have you always been a big fan of hair? How did you get into this field?
So I went to a boarding school when I was young, and at the boarding school, they didn't really know how to take care of my hair and even brought me to a salon to cut off my hair. Luckily, the hairstylist was really nice and she didn't cut my hair, but she did show me a bunch of different products and how to apply products to my hair so I can learn how to take care of my hair. And since then, I've been on a search for a perfect product until I created my business, Follicule.
It's almost like your superhero origin story.
Exactly.
What are you working on right now?
I'm actually taking a look at one of my clients' hair. Do you want to see?
Yeah, I would love to.
The hair has 3 layers, the cuticle, the cortex, and the medulla. When you're bleaching your hair, you have to open up the hair cuticle to get to the cortex because that's where pigment is stored. That can damage the hair cuticle. So whenever the cuticle is raised to that extent, the hair is left vulnerable.
And then what is the medulla?
So the medulla is where a lot of the protein structures are for the hair. Keratin fibers affect your hair's shape and structure.
So what other things are you looking for when you study hair?
The same type of damage shows for heat and maybe the hair thickness. So if you have a thinner diameter, that means that you should use lighter products, and you have a thicker diameter, your hair can handle heavier products.
Is it possible to take a piece of my hair, examine it under the microscope, and maybe make me a custom hair formula?
Yeah, of course.
Do what you gotta do, but be careful. There's my livelihood over here.
You do have some signs of damage, which is really normal.
So based on what we saw here, is there something that you can whip up for my hair?
Yeah, definitely, let's go.
Sareena is making me a hair mask, and the process is broken up into 3 phases. Phase A starts with weighing the water. Anytime there's like beakers or scales involved, I feel super, super, super sciencey. This formulation is very precise. You are literally putting singular drops back in to get to the exact amount. That's how precise you need to be.
Yes, exactly.
She also adds an emulsifier and a polyquat before warming up the mixture in this little bath. In phase B, we add avocado and jojoba oil. This is the most I've ever focused.
Well, what jojoba oil does is helps protect the hair and helps seals it and moisturize the hair. And the avocado oil also has strengthening properties because of the fatty acids.
Next up, keratin and wheat protein.
Protein helps fill in the gaps in the cuticle.
With our oils and proteins done, we retrieve our warmed water ingredients.
We know it's ready because the emulsifier starts to expand a little bit.
Now, we physically combine them with the stirrer. It's like a little science blender. With our water ingredients blended, we add in the oils and the proteins. Now we're ready for the C phase. We start with the fragrance that we want, and then add a preservative to ensure that the product will be safe to use for a long time to come. How am I supposed to actually use this product?
After you shampoo once a week, it's more of a treatment rather than an everyday use product.
Now all that's left is transferring the product over to this cute little jar. Well, Sareena, thank you so much for my custom hair mask. And thank you for teaching me so much about hair. If you're ever in need of any hair models for your men's line, I've been told by an expert that I have pretty good hair.
I'll definitely consider it.
Cool. Take care.
Bye.
ASMR is supposed to be relaxing, and I have no idea why. But I bet it's probably because of something going on up here. Dr. Brain is here to explain.
Whispering, crinkling, scratching, tapping. For some people, These sounds cause tingling sensations and a feeling of well-being, almost euphoria. This is called ASMR. And although you feel ASMR in your body, it starts in your brain. Hi, I'm Dr. Brain. Okay, my real name is Crystal Dolworth, but I have a PhD in neuroscience, so it's just easier to call me Dr. Brain. So, I'm Dr. Brain! Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, or ASMR, is often described as a pleasant prickling or tingling sensation around your head, neck, and spine. ASMR can be triggered by soft sounds like gentle whispering or the whoosh of a comb brushing through hair, or by crisp, repetitive sounds like clicking or tapping. Some people even experience ASMR from the sound of chewing. The unexpected shivers that result from these sensory stimuli can help with relaxation and sleep, improve our mood, and even reduce our heart rate. And we've yet to determine the exact mechanism for these experiences. What we do know is that when we experience ASMR sensations, regions of our brain's limbic system are activated, which mediates pleasure, reward, and emotion. Brains that experience the chills of ASMR may also just be wired a little differently. When parts of the brain that we need for action switch off and our mind starts to wander, other regions of the brain switch on. Scientists found that the ASMR brains have less connectivity in the parts of the brain that are expected to be on at rest. But the ASMR brains at rest had more connections between the primary somatosensory cortex that processes touch, temperature, and pain, and the regions in the limbic system related to emotion and reward responses. And this could explain why, with the right trigger, individuals with ASMR experience auditory emotional associations that are different than those in the general population. Many more studies will be needed before we know exactly how and why those prickles happen. But the effects of ASMR have been verified and validated using scientific study. And we know that leaning into ASMR sensations can help calm anxiety, settle heart rate, improve sleep, and lift your mood. So if you have one of those special ASMR brains, relax and enjoy the benefits. Until next time, bye.
There's no me in science, but there is an I. We're not a language show, so I don't really know what that means. Anyway, here's our next guest. This show has always been about inspiring young women to change the world through science, technology, engineering, and math. If there's one thing we know, girls are good for STEM, and STEM is good for girls. The organization that coined that phrase and proves it every day is our sponsor, TechBridge Girls. Its aim is to re-engineer STEM education by providing educators with the curriculum and training they need to help girls of color from marginalized communities pursue STEM careers. A philosophy that guides educators like Julissa Escobar, who helps thousands of kids and teens in California's Silicon Valley.
STEM is good for girls because they're gonna bring a new perspective, a new idea, a new way around things. And I think getting as many heads or as many opinions on that as possible is the most important thing.
One of the many students Julissa has helped is Alize Sareena Aguilera, who wasn't always a fan of STEM.
What made me like science and engineering was Julissa, because when she explained it to me in a way that I could understand, I really got the hang of it because she cared. To do experiments and building, creating things, it got really exciting.
To further the sense of belonging in the world of STEM, today Julissa is showing Alize that although Latinas only represent 2% of STEM jobs, they are out there, like STEM superstar and process engineer Erica Gabrielle Hansen, who helps create cutting-edge computer chip technology at our sponsor, Applied Materials.
Can you name anything that you use in your daily life that has chips in it?
My phone, my laptop.
Yes, exactly. And what about you?
My watch, my TV, I think even my house.
Practically everything that we use on a daily basis uses chips. It helps enable business, it helps enable the medical industry. All these incredible things are things that we make possible.
What's a process engineer?
Kind of a mixture between a chemical engineer and a mechanical engineer. So I work a lot with different chemistries, and we kind of change those to modify materials. So a lot of times I'm working on adjusting different hardware that can change the outputs that we want on our processes. So we have an example of a pattern wafer here. The process of making a chip is basically adding a bunch of materials, removing materials, modifying materials, and inspecting materials. Each chip probably has 3,000 steps. And then eventually all of those materials and all of the processes become a chip like this. So you can see an example here. If you drop it, it'll break, but it's fine with you.
Go.
No, you can totally hold it. It's totally fine.
Oh, it's light.
It's very light, yeah.
I didn't even know.
Each of those little squares would be an example of a chip that would be cut out, packaged, and then eventually put into your phones, computers, your microwave. And it's crazy to think that there's 60 miles of wiring in one of those little chips. And we have 11 billion transistors.
Does the color impact the performance of the chip?
Yeah, the color that you see here doesn't necessarily impact how the chip behaves, but it's more of what material you're seeing on the top of it. So I would love to show you an example of one of our manufacturing systems that actually does some of the removal process.
The minuscule scale of chip manufacturing means tiny bits of dust are a big deal. So everyone puts on what's called a bunny suit before visiting the laboratory clean room. Machines here turn silicon into microchips with robots and chemical processes designed by engineers like Erica, adding and removing materials at atomic levels of precision. And maybe one day, tech bridge girl Alize.
We're removing 100 nanometers of oxide. So to put that in perspective, your red blood cell, one red blood cell, is about 10,000 nanometers. So you're removing 100 nanometers, so even smaller than that. That's how precise we can get with these tools.
After today, I know that somebody like me belongs in engineering or in science. I have role models that look like me, and knowing that I can make a difference, like Erica.
Thank you for having us. This was a really cool experience. I never knew your job existed.
I also want to say, like, this means so much to me. Being able to see this facility with someone who looks like us and sounds like us, I think it's something you don't see a lot in the STEM world, let alone in the engineering world. So knowing that someone like you does it is probably the best part about this entire experience.
I believe that we all support each other, and I'm so excited to see where us Latinas in STEM go in the future.
You're back!
Welcome back. Before we go, we have one last thing.
We always have this picture as younger people that a scientist is a man in a white lab coat, but the truth is that a scientist can be anyone. There are many faces of science.
Always keep learning and exploring. STEM is such a wide field, and once you find what you do and don't like, keep learning.
Be okay with taking risks. You know, have fun taking risks. Don't be afraid to try something because you don't know what it is.
Seeing Erica be an engineer and she's Latina, it really inspired me knowing that somebody like me can be an engineer and that it's not really based on culture, that you could really do whatever you want and put your mind into it.
I think representation in STEM is incredibly important. All of those different backgrounds bring new experiences and new ways of looking at problems.
That's it for Mission Unstoppable. Tune in next week and maybe we'll have an evil scientist for once. So far, all of our scientists have been good, but statistically, it has to happen eventually, right? Bye. If you're watching this, you must have really liked the video. Make sure you follow and subscribe and check out these other videos that are even better. No, really. I've seen this one over 100 times.